Our stance is how we use our body. The way we stand on the board to channel that power from up here down and make us accelerate like I am just now. But the thing about the stance is it's not just lock into one position and say, this is how you should be standing on the board. Your stance and how we use our body should be changing and adapting. And sometimes, yes, you have to drop down super low, getting your hips to the water. Other times, you might lift your hips up and lock your whole body stiff as a board. So when and why might you mix it up and do different ones? So right now I'm on a bit of a lull. I was going upwind, I've now headed off the wind a little bit just to stay on the plane. And what I'm doing is lifting my hips forwards and locking into quite a straight, stiffish sort of body. That makes me efficient with the wind I've got. Just as I'm saying that, the wind's kicked in a little bit. So I'm actually deliberately breaking just that little bit of the waist and starting to drop a little bit, just to make sure I don't get catapulted out the front. If I really wanted to accelerate, start to speed up, I'd need to drop down even lower. Now here comes a bit of a gust. I'm now dropping down lower, ever so slightly, sitting my butt towards the water. You know what? That gust has softened up. I'm now just averagely powered up, if you like. I've resorted back to what we call a standard stance or a standard 7. My hips are definitely pushing forwards. What I'm not trying to do at the moment is eat the boom, windsurf like a tiny little T-Rex. This uses a lot of muscles and actually isn't very comfortable at all. This is that nicer, straighter stance. Allowing my spine to straighten up is a much more comfortable way of windsurfing. Allows you to be a bit more efficient. I want to jibe, and on the entrance jibe I have to accelerate downwind, so I dropped very, very low on that entrance just there. The exit to the jibe, I'm still low because I'm trying to handle all that extra power. But to bring me back upwind, my head's turned, my hips are coming forwards, and I've brought the board upwind. I did that by slightly digging my heels. It's an interesting one to go through just there, that whole drop and dig, because a moment ago I said drop down low to head downwind. That allows you to hold on to that extra power and the extra speed. I'm pretty sure I just saw a shark in the water. That was cool. Obviously, I'm going to go back and look for it. It's about the length of my board, a little fin sticking up and out. This is the end of me. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have gone back. I don't see you. I must have scared him off. He's not interested in windsurfing. Just so we're on the same page, by the way, there. As far as I'm aware, there's no dangerous sharks out here. I'm not sure what it was. Fish are definitely not my expertise, so what I'll try and do is ask around and let you know what it was. Back to windsurfing, though. So dropping down low, I said earlier, it's like the entrance to a jibe. Drop down low and push through your toes. That allows you to enter a jibe or start to speed up downwind. You can hold more power, you can hold more speed. But if you want to go upwind and change direction in a gust, I still need to drop down low, but instead of dropping and pushing through my toes, trying to flatten the board off and speed up, let's do it just here. There's a little drop and push to get going. Drop and dig, away, and you shoot upwind pretty quick. Let's try that again. Dropping and digging my heels. You can see the board is changing direction very quickly. Now, the thing to bear in mind, and I've had this a lot with students, is we're in this stance that's very upright, and me or the other instructors are saying you need to drop down low to get the board going, and you just can't. I'm hooked in, I'm standing up, I can't drop down low. So one of the great ways to affect your stance is your front hand. As I bend my front hand, way, instantly, I fall in backwards. Returners to the channel, you'll know I've talked a lot about front hand control and how you can power up and actually fully get going on the front hand alone. It's the same if you want to change your stance and get lower for some reason. Now, I'm certainly not saying your front hand should be bent the whole time. If you windsurf along like I am now, I'm depowered, I'm not making the most of the gust. The sail is opened because my harness acts like a hinge or a pivot and opens the back of the sail. So I need to push the front hand to get power on. But if I want to change my stance from a very upright like I am now stance to wind's going to hit me and I don't want to get pulled in, a little moment where the front arm is bent, open the sail slightly, deliberately let yourself falling backwards, dropping down low into what's called a super 7. Did it there without bending my front arm because the wind wasn't that strong. There is my super 7 stance. Drop and push into the straps. Dropping and staying low, starting to dig the heels. I'm going upwind, and as I do that, I'm straightening back up into now my standardish 7. Or if it's a lull, lift and lock on my tiptoes, trying to keep the board going through this lull. There's a gust, I want to drop low before I catapult. Drop the camera in behind me. But I drop down low by depowering for a second, dropping and digging. That brought me upwind, and that stopped me catapulting. You want to have a look back through the archives. Maybe you've seen a video where I've done saying how to stop catapulting. This is it. This is the same thing. How you adapt your stance and how you control things, especially using that front arm like I am just now. It's a bit on and off. Woohoo! It's very much the same thing. Thanks, as always, for joining me here in Vasiliki. Do remember, if you're coming this way, my contact details are in the description. I'm running private coaching clinics and group coaching clinics all summer long. So come and join me for some coaching. Everything is in the description. The other things going on this summer, again, link in the description to a Patreon channel where it's a whole separate playlist of things going on that I call the Walk Along series, which is where I can talk directly to Dave from Scunthorpe. You wanted to know about this, and I'll answer your question on camera whilst walking along down the beach in a nice, quiet, calm morning that we get out here. If you're new to the channel, I don't know where you've been. This has been going on for a few years now, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And whether you're new or returning, leave me a little comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're up to, and let me know in particular when you're coming out to Vassiliki. And I will see you on the waters out here, I hope, very, very soon.